Yes. Okay.
Okay, we'll go to approval of council minutes, 6/8, September 28th, 2020, regular council meeting. Entertain a motion.
I have a change for the minutes, please.
Go ahead.
Under the city council comments, under my comment, it says that Councilwoman Mitchell stated that our city code is quite outdated. What I said was that that some sections of our city code are outdated and should be cleaned up.
Is that it?
Yes.
Call roll.
Vice Mayor Petrolanda. Councilman Best.
Aye.
Councilwoman Mitchell.
Yes.
Councilman Fahed.
Yes.
Mayor Bain.
Yes. We go on to 8, first reading.
This is an ordinance of the city of Florida, 1935, that specifies contributions to the relief environment action plan of the city code of ordinances, providing for conflict, providing for another wilderness, providing for improvement of the code, providing for the second.
We need to put this to, for the public hearing, everybody that I decided, welcome to present it now. Then we close the public hearing.
Vice Mayor Petrolanda. Councilman Best. Councilwoman Mitchell.
Yes.
Councilman Fahed. Mayor Bain.
Yes, we want to set again, and this is the, all the different items that were budgeted in the 2021 budget. We have the letter, and that's what I talked last time, the council, we reviewed by, you know, we had, does anybody want to pull it? Darn.
Vice Mayor Petrolanda. Councilman Best. Councilwoman Mitchell.
here, Erica, can you ask them to put the microphones closer or something? Because you can tell that they're talking, but it's very muffled. And it's all the council, the mayor and the council.
I can't hear you. Can you hear the mayor?
All right. We got a first and second. Oh.
Vice Mayor Petrolanda? Councilman Bass? Councilwoman Mitchell?
Yes.
Councilman Behet? Mayor Bain?
Yes, we vote to 11, new business, 11, resolution.
This order to amend the council of the city of Miami, Florida, approving the applicable for the federal fleet, the last mobilization, the last mobilization, mobilization. You remember the last meeting, there was comment, organization, for the contract, and those of the two of the two. Yes.
Second. Have any discussion? Call
Vice Mayor Petrolanda? Councilman Bass? Councilwoman Mitchell?
Yes.
Councilman Behet? Mayor Bain?
the 11, resolution.
This order to amend the council of the city of Miami, Florida, approving the plan for two non-completed Florida Power and Light Company for the construction operation of the Lincoln Facility on October Drive, the Miami Springs Golf and Country Club property, generally located at Florida Spring, the Lions Club, this is part of the FPL the city wide. These locations, fall beyond the FPL, parking, but a full mechanism out there and no central location. Why is it separate? Separate. Haven't had. Remember when they came out, they said, right, this is the only place where it's city property is on.
Okay.
If I can just make a quick comment, nothing about that item, sorry. But we messaged that we're still being muffled when we speak, so it's very hard to hear.
Maybe because of the mask.
So maybe you might want to remove your mask since you're so far apart from each other. I think you guys are pretty far.
I would like to suggest that because I'm having a lot of difficulty. Everything's very muffled. And I know what the agenda items are, and I'm having difficulty figuring out what's being said.
And is it a difference when I take my mask off?
Much better, much better.
Masks.
Okay.
Okay, and let the people know it's the mask.
Okay.
And I guess we got to go ahead and attempt our quality of life so that people can hear us. Thanks for their consideration. Okay, we had a B, we have, I need a motion.
You got a motion to move, sir.
Second.
Call the vote.
Vice Mayor Petrolanda?
Yes.
Councilman Bass?
Aye.
Councilwoman Mitchell?
Yes.
Councilman Behet?
Yes.
Mayor Bain?
Yes, we go to 11C, a recommendation.
This is a recommendation by Finance Professional Services that council award city RFP 04-1920 to Brightview Landscaping Services, the lowest responsible bidder, and authorize the execution of a contract which is attached in an amount not to exceed $140,000, $140,099.34 for a one-year term effective on October 12, 2020, with options to renew 4 additional one-year term periods through 10/12/2025 pursuant to section 3111 E11 of the city code.
Okay, I like the $140 better.
Yeah.
It is. And from William, I asked William about this company since it's a new company, and he told me that Omar had vetted them and that several cities use them and are very happy with their services. So we're saving money, and it looks like it's a very responsible and reliable company.
Through the chair, is it, William, is this is not typical that we sign a contract with somebody where there's 4 additional options? I mean, typically, we don't do that.
I believe, Omar, what do we have with ballpark maintenance?
I think it was.
1 year with options or?
We've
Yeah,
always.
the 4, my
Yeah,
question
but-
is the 4 additional years.
Well,
No,
the
but
thing is,
we've had it where the accounting firm that does our audit, we've had it where we've had options to go ahead and go to additional year.
Mayor, but 4 of them?
Well, I'm
That's my
just
question.
telling you, it's an option. Doesn't mean
Right, doesn't mean we have to. Right.
yeah, it's an option.
Okay.
Maybe
Hopefully
you're
we-
locking it in that time too, because you're gonna save some money
Well,
by
I guess,
locking it in 4 years.
sometimes in these contracts too, you know, if you vie for that, you save yourself some money too. So maybe we did that. in this. Yeah.
Okay. Any
Mayor?
other discussion? Go ahead.
I just want to clarify, there is a resolution that was attached to this, but the title was, there was just a discrepancy. The contract, we are asking that the council approve the negotiation and execution. It's not the contract that's attached. There's negotiations that need to happen, and
Okay, so we're giving you the ability to
To
negotiate this
continue the-
contract.
correct.
And it's a possibility that it's going to be for 4 additional years options. So you're negotiating this contract. You need us to go ahead and give you the go-ahead to do that.
yes.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to allow staff to negotiate this contract.
Through the chair,
Was there a second on that?
Council, can you hear us clearly now?
Yes.
Can you hear,
Fading in and out.
can you hear us now?
Yes, I hear you. I hear you, Erica.
I'm sorry, I missed the first and the
First and
second.
second was
First here,
Councilman
second.
Best, and then
Vice Mayor Petrolanda.
Okay. Vice Mayor Petrolanda,
Yes.
Councilman Best,
Aye.
Councilwoman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Fahed,
Yes.
Mayor Bain.
yes, we go on to discussion of fireworks.
Yes, Mayor.
Call
Council.
Bay.
The Recreation Department would like to recommend the following options for our 2021 Fourth of July fireworks show. After several discussions with the representatives from Firepower Firework Displays, they have provided us with 2 options and quotes for a more intensified show and grand finale. They will be increasing the number of shells, and the show will have more fireworks going off per second. This will greatly intensify the fireworks show. We currently budget $16,000 for our 4th of July show. City of Miami Springs is responsible for $13,000, and the Village of Virginia Gardens is responsible for $3,000. The options are as follows. Number 1, a 20-minute show. The 20-minute show will cost $25,000. This show will have more shells per minute, and it will also have a more intense grand finale. Second option is a 25-minute show, which will cost $35,000. This show will also have more shells per minute and will also have a more intense grand finale. It's 5 minutes longer, which will increase the cost of the show. Omar had spoken to them about the option that we were talking about doing a 40-minute show, but they recommend against that. They say it's too long, and it's better to have a shorter show with more shells. But Omar's here, if you have any specific questions.
Well, first thing is, I would like to have council, I guess there's 3 options. 1, to do it as normal.
Right.
2, to do the first option, you said that the 25,000. And then 3, the 3's off the table. Okay, not to spend 35,000. So I need from council if they're willing to do the second option, or
Second, I'd like to make a motion for option 1.
I would like to, well, you put in a motion? Did Councilman Petrolanda put in a motion?
Option one,
which is the normal show.
no,
Okay.
option 20-minute show.
Oh, you're putting in,
You want, you want to spend $25,000?
Right, we should be clear, because I think
Right.
what we normally do is 20 minutes also.
right.
And
Yeah.
just, if I could just throw my opinion here, because I did a kind of, I asked for Omar and William to send me the 2019, the previous proposal.
Yep.
So the option that's $35,000, I think is just completely cost prohibitive. And the one that's $25,000 is 20 minutes, which is the same as what we were paying $16,000 for. And it's also 27 less shells than we were paying in 2019. The only difference I learned from Omar is that they're doing these things called cakes that I guess kind of provide like a light background that allows for the fireworks to look more intense. My opinion, I feel like we're paying an extra $9,000 and we're not really getting that much more. I just want to say real quick, because we had a debate about this before. When in the spring, the city decided to do the right thing and the smart thing, and not spend the $16,000 on an event that could possibly get a bunch of people together during the pandemic. And the reason I was advocating a lot for having, something twice as nice is that while we were doing the judicious thing, there were a lot of people, for the sake of the health of the community, there were a lot of people that were out in the streets protesting, some without masks, many protesting this country. And I felt, and I know that there are residents that feel like we kind of got gypped because we forfeited being able to celebrate the birth of our nation and do the judicious thing and the prudent thing. And other people got to kind of like protest the nation. People came in here and protested the city government and some of the decisions that are made. So for selfish reasons, I just felt like a little bit of entitlement. Like I feel like we should do something nice since we didn't spend those 16,000. But as I look at this, I don't know that this is the way to do it. And at least my 2 cents, I'd like to know if maybe the Parks and Recs department could do some research and see how we might be able to do something else for the community with some of the money that we didn't spend last year. But as I look at this, like literally, it's 27 less shells for $9,000 more, and all we're getting is some cakes that I guess makes it look more intense. But I didn't think it would, you're talking about, more than double the money for their high-end one, and it's only 5 more minutes. So I don't know that it's speaking of doing the prudent thing. I don't think.
I agree with you, Councilman Fahed. I think that no one has ever complained about the fireworks display that we've had in the past. Everyone has loved it. We looked into it in the spirit of the moment where, we had to cancel it, that we said, okay, we'll try to make it nicer. But I think the 16,000 that we spend are well spent. There's no reason, I feel no reason to spend more than that how do you get more dazzled by fireworks? How would you notice the difference? They're still fascinating no matter what. And the other thing is that money can be used, like you said, for other purposes. We certainly have great need for $10,000 that we would save. And once we have this super duper display, then everything would be compared to that. So the following years, it always seemed like, wow, we've never had such a nice display. I agree with you. I'd like to put a motion in that we go with the option of maintaining the 16,000 that we've always done and have the terrific fireworks display that we've always had. I think our residents appreciate that, and they're mature enough to understand under COVID, we all made sacrifices. There were tons of sacrifices, hundreds or thousands of sacrifices made across the board. So I'd like to put in a motion that we go with the 16,000 and the fireworks that we've always had.
Let's second that and for discussion, please.
Go ahead.
I don't know that we have ever, at least in my time here, tried to enhance or spend more money. I think only because of the pandemic, this became an issue, only. If there was no pandemic, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about spending $25,000, $35,000 for fireworks, up in the ante, in other words. So I'm fine with the normal. You got a second, sir.
Anybody else?
Yes. For option one, I'm sorry, it's here. We're saving $5,000, correct? Because we usually spend how much? 15,000.
16.
16. Right, 16,000. So option one is 25,000.
But there's actually three options, Councilman. It's that it's not on here. The third option is maintaining what we've always had, is my understanding, right, Omar and William, is, maintaining the status quo of what we've always had of spending 16,000 for a fantastic fireworks display that, that our residents appreciate, enjoy, and is more than enough monetarily wise and enjoyment wise.
We want to clear that option one, and I know what you're talking about, Councilwoman, but here in our agenda option, we only have two options. I'm calling option one, which is 20-minute show. It's 25,000. I'm not sure who said that it was going to be more, but we didn't spend the money in July, and this is for next July, so we're still saving $5,000, correct? Or
It's
more,
not-
more.
No, it's $9,000 more than we usually pay. We
Well,
usually pay
Well,
16.
I'm combining them. I'm combining them.
I'm not.
Yeah,
gonna-
but we've never acted like that, like, children that, well, we didn't get our ice cream last week, so now we want a double dip of ice cream. I mean, that's fiscal responsibility on our part. We didn't spend the money because the circumstances made it that it wasn't an event we could hold, but I don't think that it warrants us spending more next year. I mean, our budget is always very lean and very tight, and there's certainly things that we can use the $9,000 for, to benefit our community than adding an extra dazzle in the fireworks. The time is going to be the same, and my understanding is the fireworks company said that more than 20 minutes, people tend to get tired and and not appreciate it as much, so they don't even do a 40-minute display.
Chair, I think also to be considered here is going forward, the unknowns going forward. We don't know what's coming out of Tallahassee. We don't know what's coming out of,
Oh, that's
out of the
true.
county as far as funding for the communities and stuff in Miami-Dade County. So I think to stay away from spending any unnecessary money at the present time is the ticket, is the way to go.
I got a first and a second.
You do, sir.
Call a vote.
Vice Mayor Petrolanda,
Yes.
Councilman Best,
Aye.
Councilwoman Mitchell,
I just want to clarify, we're voting for the 16,000, the status quo.
Yes, Maria, I seconded your motion.
You made.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Councilman Behet,
Yes.
Mayor Bain.
No, we go to old business consideration for the request from Councilman Petrolanga for $1,500 to the mansion for jumping jack products for a car show at the mansion property on November 8th.
All right, I spoke to the folks at the mansion, Ms. Arias, and they're all eager to do the car show in November. The one we should have had in July. Maybe we can move it to the mansion to help them and let people know that the mansion is open for business. And they're very excited. It would be November 8th from 11 to 3. I spoke to Jumping Jack Production. They're on board with that too. And I'd like to add, Mayor, if I may, that maybe the December show, that we can also have it at the mansion, the car show. I spoke to the folks at the mansion for the December show, and I spoke to Jumping Jack Production for the show. And they're very excited to go over there and have these two shows at the mansion. I think this is something we need to do for our city, for the people in Dade County. I mean, we need to open up and we need to start having shows again. Obviously, we have to follow all the rules that need to be followed. So I asked us if I can find consensus to give them the $1,500 for the November 8th show. It's the one that we didn't use for the 4th of July, and another $1,500 for December, the one we hold at the Circle. And don't do it at the Circle and let them handle it. They would do all the work. The city would not be liable, responsible for any of this stuff. And by the way, William, I spoke to them. They would only need one police officer. They normally have 4. I spoke to Jumping Jack, and he says he drove by the mansion and he feels like he can do one police officer. That's a savings right there. So I'd like to see if we can allocate the money to the mansion with a requirement that if these things don't go through because something happens, we don't know what's going on. Everything is very fluid. If we have to close down the county again because the virus gets out of control, we can get our money back. Okay, it's not something we're giving them and then they keep it if they don't hold these shows. So if I can find consensus, I'd like to move those two shows to the mansion this year. Next year, when things get better, obviously they'll be held in at the Circle. It will be a city-owned event. That's all I have, man.
Okay, well, I think that's not consensus. It's gonna have to be a vote, so.
A vote, yes.
I'm gonna need a motion.
I've got a question there, but is there a reason why we can't have it at the Circle? Because I know that I've been trying to like be the voice of reason with some people, you know, have their opinions about the Circle. And people have told me like, oh, now we're not gonna be able to have the car shows there. We're not gonna be able to have the River Cities. Like the Circle, we can still have the car show there, right?
We have to check with the county because what happened in July, the county did not allow us to have those type of events that through people, we have groups of people that are congregating together. I don't know if between now and December, things will change and we may be able to have it in December, but I have to get the okay from the county.
But that's because of having people congregated. That would be the same whether we have it at the Circle or any other venue. My question is that since the traffic mitigation happened at the Circle, because people have literally asked me, like, how are we gonna have the River Cities Festival going forward with what they did at the Circle? Or how would we have the car shows? Is there
Well,
anything?
Close the Circle. I mean, the Circle's closed for those events, so it can still be closed for those events. What you're talking about, William, is because of COVID, we couldn't congregate at the Circle, correct?
It begs the question of why are we paying to have it at a different venue if we have a venue, like, either we can or we can't have it because of the
Well,
number of people.
Let's take one thing at a time. We don't know if we'll be able to hold it in December yet.
Right.
What Councilman Petrolanda is saying, they want to have a show November 8th. And have it there. As a city, I didn't want to take the liability of having a show right now until we get clearance from the county that those type of events are allowed. Similar to what we did with the farmers market, we got a clearance from the county that those were okay. And that's why this is coming up.
But are we absolved of any liability because we outsource it to, and listen,
And that's one
good
thing I
word.
talked to Councilman Petrolanda. This is an event between the mansion and Jumping Jack.
Okay.
What he's asking for is that the city donate the $1,500 to the mansion so they can have it. But the contract is going to be between the mansion and Jumping Jack. The city's not part of that contract.
William, how much do we usually spend when we have a car show at the Circle? What are our costs, including the police? What is it, a few thousand?
Jumping Jack says we only need one police officer now instead of three, so that's a savings.
Well, that's up to the police to determine how many officers they're going to need, not Jumping Jack.
Well, I mean, from the venue, that's what he suggested, but again, I mean,
That's up to
the
the
chief,
chief.
the chief is, now, a couple of things, I think if we hold it at the mansion this year, you're gonna have the business owners very happy, you're not closing down the Circle for any amount of time. The other one is Jumping Jack, going to Councilman, to Walter's question, he already drove by the Circle, he looked at
I
the
know,
layout,
that was going to be my next comment.
Right.
When we were planning for the July show, he went out there.
and he was
And
okay
he
with it.
said, it's no problem, we can make it happen. The changes at the Circle will not affect his event. But the problem we came across was that the county would not allow us to have that event. That's why we didn't do it.
Councilman Petrolanda, could we, I'm just asking, what are your thoughts on us voting to allow it to be at the mansion? I think it's, the mansion is part of our city. I mean, it's our historical, heritage here in the city. So anytime that we can get together there and enjoy it, and have our residents there and, enjoy the mansion, it's great. Could we possibly vote to let them have the event there in November? Because obviously we're not going to have an event at the Circle in November, and then leave the December one for, let's see how the November goes.
Absolutely. Now, keep in mind that November 8th, the funding for the November 8th is going to be coming from the 4th of July that we didn't have. So the money's there, it's been allocated.
Exactly. No, and that's, to me, that's a great use of, and providing another event for our residents to enjoy, and also to attract people to our city, to, the businesses that are open. And also, I think that's a great use of the money. But what I'm just saying is the December one,
Hold
can
on.
we?
I have no problem with it. When would you have a better, handle on it, William?
Well, right now, Omar, and his staff are working on what we usually do for Christmas.
Exactly.
And we probably will not be able to do what we usually do every year with the Santa and the pictures and the kids and all that. So they're working on some different scenarios of maybe holding it somewhere else, maybe at Prince Field or Stafford Park, some other type of event, so that we can keep social distancing and masks and all that. So that's another issue that usually the car show is part of that Christmas
Exactly.
events that we have. And since we're not going to be doing it at the circle, we'll have the tree lighting at the circle. But we just won't have what we usually do every year where we have the ice, we bring in the snow and all that. That's gonna be tough to do this year, yeah.
So having
All right,
had
the
that,
agenda here is about giving the $1,500 to the mansion to hold the car show
Okay.
on November 8th. That's what we're talking about
All
right
right.
now.
we can
So
put
this is
the,
what we're gonna go ahead and have a motion, whether we want it or not.
I'd like to put in a motion that we go ahead and give the mansion the 1,500 put on this event for our community.
hey, when you're done, I'll second that, but go ahead.
All right, call, you got the second?
Yeah, no, but go ahead.
No, call the vote.
I,
Vice Mayor Petrolanda,
Yes.
Councilman Best,
no,
Councilwoman Mitchell,
Yes,
Councilman Behet,
No,
Mayor Bain.
No.
Motion fails.
We go to,
So we're not, wait, we're not gonna have we're not
you're
gonna have
not,
a car
it's
show
not gonna happen.
on the mansion?
No, it's not gonna happen.
you're right.
You can't, in my opinion, you can't go and have an item before this one that you're gonna spend, that you don't wanna spend anything outside of the situation and come to another item, and then all of a sudden, because it's what you think is the right thing to do, spend $1,500. So I'm gonna be consistent on how the council's voted, and I'm voting no.
But Mayor, we voted yes on the
But
fireworks.
hey, it's over, it's been voted on.
I understand, but we can't talk about it.
Well, I don't know if the council wants to talk about it anymore,
No,
but
I do have one question, sir, if I might, through the chair. I think Councilwoman Mitchell asked a few minutes ago, and it wasn't answered. What is the typical cost of this car show to the city? That was asked. Was it- Am I wrong?
it's the same thing.
Same- It is right at 1,500?
Yes.
Just wanted
That
to
I
be clear
know,
on
that
that.
I remember.
Okay.
Okay, we go to 12C. This is consideration of council, the November 20, the December 28th council meeting. I guess that we're gonna talk about deferring them or canceling them because of the holidays.
Correct.
Okay, but we will have the December 9th meeting,
We'll have a November 9th meeting, and we'll have the,
December.
First one in December, second one in
What date is the December meeting? That
It's
would
the
be,
12th, I believe. The 14th.
the
okay,
14th.
so we will keep that December 14th meeting.
Right.
Because in the past, we've not met in December.
No,
Unless it was,
We've always
I
tried
think
to
we've
keep
met
past.
once, Bill. I think.
One
Yeah,
and one.
in the past,
Yeah,
but we're gonna keep that meeting. I think we're. gonna
I
do
agree
it.
with you. I agree with you.
Okay, so I need a motion to cancel the November 23rd and the December 28th meetings. I need a motion.
Through the
to-
chair, motion to move. See.
Second.
Second.
Call the vote.
Vice Mayor Petrolanda, Councilman Best, Councilwoman Mitchell,
yes,
Uh-oh.
Councilman Behet,
yes.
Mayor Bain.
Yes, in this item, I was asked by some very important people if council would consider having the council meetings at 6 o'clock. And I throw this in with this situation at this line item. If you don't want to make a decision tonight, to go ahead and put on an agenda item for the next council meeting and see if we want to go ahead and move the move the meetings to 6 o'clock. If we have no, if right now nobody agrees with that, I don't have enough, we won't even talk.
is it
So
one
something-
meeting? Are you asking one meeting, Mayor, or all future meetings?
Starting at 6 o'clock.
All future meetings or just the next meeting?
It seems that we, over the years, have had a discussion on this before.
No, I don't think about the
I
time. I
think-
wanted to move the meetings until Tuesday.
No. Well, there was that too, but I'm talking about the timing as well. I think Xavier was mayor at the time. And it was arrived at that it wasn't fair to the working people because they got home and they'd have to rush to
Right.
a 6 o'clock.
I just throw that out for some
Okay.
very important people who ask me.
Mayor, as an option, can we, at least the next two meetings for this year, hold it at 6?
That's up to council. I
And
mean, I
then
have
in
no
January,
problem.
go back to 7?
I have no problem with it myself, but you know, I'd love to have them on Tuesday since the Gazette doesn't put out anymore but once a month. You don't need us to be here on Monday. But that was always my fight for a lot of years, but
Well, the request is reasonable relative to what William just asked, particularly for staff that has to be here. I'm fine with that.
the next two meetings at 6 o'clock?
I'm okay
Does,
with it. I'm okay
council-
with that.
Do I have consensus for the next two meetings?
I would like more information as to why the next two meetings and why the 6 o'clock, because definitely most residents who would like to attend can't possibly be here, especially to sign up to speak at the public forum by 6. So I'm confused as to why 6.
I was asked by staff that if, because of the situation of the work they have to do in the office.
But we're talking about
Nice good way.
twice a month.
We're
To
talking
me,
about-
it's more important to be, accommodate our residents that if they want to, especially when we say, if you want to speak at public forum, you have to be here ahead of time and sign up to speak. That means they would have to be here by what, 5:45?
I think the request that the mayor is asking us about right now is referencing only the next two meetings. After
Of this
the
year.
holiday meetings. After
Oh, I
that, it'll go
understand.
back to 7.
Okay, all right. The next two holiday meetings.
Correct. The other issue is that we foresee that in January, we'll start having our meetings at our regular council chamber.
Right.
So it doesn't take the planning and all the work we have
Yeah.
to put this together up here. So that was another reason for that request.
Gotcha.
All right, do we have consensus to do the last two meetings
You do for me.
of the year
You do
here
for
at
me.
6 o'clock?
You do for me, sir.
I got you, I got Councilman. Okay, so the last two meetings will be at 6 o'clock of this
1800.
year. Okay. We go to reports and recommendations. We have anything from the city attorney tonight?
No, Mayor.
No? With that beautiful outfit, you have nothing to say. Nothing to say. City manager,
No, Mayor?
nothing from you either. You look the same though. You don't have nothing. good
Hey,
looking.
at least he's well tonight.
He's
Remember
what?
last meeting?
Yeah, I
He
know.
was in serious trouble.
We go to council. Anything from Councilwoman Mitchell?
Just want to wish everyone a safe, enjoyable Halloween, and God bless our community.
Councilman Best.
Thank you, Mayor. Along the same lines, certainly this is going to be challenging with the trick or treaters and everything. Every year we go through this, and normally it's under different circumstances. But certainly the safety of these kids out on the street, and of course we change our clocks go back this coming weekend too, right? So it's going to be darker earlier. So just those of you that are here and those of you that are watching this at home, just ensure the additional safety and the distancing, especially with the trick or treating for this year. That would be my message.
Yeah, I get them tongues and bring a big tongue and give them the.
I heard some radio today that said that people are going to put candy out at the end of the driveways and just have the kids.
Well, that's
I know,
that's not
weird,
gonna.
but-
By the way, we're gonna have to have our meetings at 5 o'clock with time change.
Just want to give Rotary Club, a service organization. It's not easy these days with the pandemic to be able to raise money in order to help and give back, which is the whole purpose of the organization. The fact we're able to get that done today and raise money that will go back to helping people in the community is a great thing. So it shows the perseverance of the folks in the Rotary Club, and I wanted to acknowledge them for that.
Councilman Petrolani?
If you haven't had a chance to stop by the mansion, to their haunted house, I said, yes, you do. It's awesome. I went by not this past weekend, the one before, and I have to tell you, it's the next level hunting. I mean, they're doing a great job out there. So if you get a chance, stop by. You're not going to be disappointed.
Councilman Bench, you had
Yeah, I
something else?
did have one more. Thank you so much, Mayor. I just wanted to mention to everyone, November 3rd, week from tomorrow. And I stress for everybody to get out there and exercise your vote as American citizens. Thank you, sir.
Okay, this meeting's adjourned.